I want to go through the requirements of certification one more time. I covered this material in the nuts and bolts video, but I think it always helps to hear it in different ways at different times. So this is just another chance to hear how this all works and how it all goes. So there are 4 steps to being certified. The first step is to complete the coursework. This is a graphic that shows generally how people tend to get through the 9-month certification process. You have 9 months from when you start the program, when you sign up, to when you need to submit for certification. And people can move through this material however they like. Some folks like to go through all the coursework and then go back and do the practicums. Others like to do the coursework related to the practicums one at a time and go through step by step. However you want to do it is absolutely fine. The support that we give in Mighty Networks and the training calls that we have support people at all phases of the process, and it's helpful to hear what's going on with everyone no matter which practicums they're working on and what's going on. It's all just great learning. You get to hear mistakes other people make, things that they're worried about, things that they did well. All of that is part of the trainings and the community learning. So that's going to help you no matter where you are in the process. The coursework generally takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 5 months, and the practicums are, as we break down here, usually Blueprint is about 1 month. The practicum 2s take the longest, sometimes about 2 months, and then practicum 3 about 1 month. That's generally the way that it goes. The second step is to complete those practicums, and the requirements for fiction are you're going to help a client do the blueprint, which is a 14-step process to start a book and get the idea out of their head and onto the page. The second practicum is evaluating a complete novel manuscript. So that's likely not the same person doing the blueprint because they wouldn't be able to write a whole manuscript in the time you need to be able to do this. And then the third practicum is the marketplace intelligence piece and helping them to design a pitch and think about how to pitch and their path to publication. On the nonfiction side, you're also coaching the blueprint, but this time it's for nonfiction and helping your client develop a book proposal. You can work with somebody who has a draft of a proposal already done, or you can help them move from the blueprint into the book proposal elements. That client would need to be ready to work hard in a short period of time. It's absolutely possible to do that, but you just need to know that they are ready to do that work with you so that you can get all the elements of the proposal to have a draft of them all done. Certainly does not have to be in pitch ready shape, but we need to see you coaching all elements of the proposal. And then the third practicum on the nonfiction side is also coaching the pitch and the path to publication. The third step is to submit your application for certification, and you will capture videos and your written work on practicums 1, 2, and 3. You'll upload all of that to us, and there's also self-evaluations on each practicum, so you can tell us what was going on, who you were coaching, how you felt about the work you did. If there's any glitchy thing you want us to know, you can put it there. One thing to know about the applications is we only start reviewing them when they are complete. If you upload them and something's missing and we look through and we see that something's not there, we will ask you to upload the correct materials and you go to the back of the queue for review. So make sure everything is complete when you submit for application so you don't lose your spot in the queue. The applications are evaluated on these 4 criteria, and this is really important to understand. On the coaching tone, we are looking for feedback that is both compassionate and authoritative. We want to see you coaching that person, leading them, guiding them, really listening to them, helping them understand what their best path for this book is, and doing that work in live coaching with them. So that compassion for how hard this is, the critiques, and that authoritative guidance of where you want them to go. For the organization and clarity, we want to make sure that your feedback is clear and appropriate to whatever is happening in this document. discerning what to talk about first, what the biggest problem is a big part of being an efficient coach. And we also want to know that the issues for this writer are organized in a way that is easy for them to follow and effective for them to follow. So that's going to be the priorities first, and then the things that are less important later. But we want to see that authority in your organization as well, and the clarity with which you're communicating what needs to happen to this project. The editorial expertise we're looking for is we want to make sure that you have a solid grasp on how to evaluate these materials, how to communicate with that writer, how to get the editorial sense really clear in your communication, both written and verbal, so that you have evidence for what you're asking for and the writer gets it. And then finally, we're looking for a sense of your project management style, which is that you're confident, you're presenting a plan for how to get to the next step and how to reach the next deadline. And confident doesn't have to mean, we understand this might be your first time coaching. It might be your first time videotaping yourself coaching. That can be really nerve-wracking, especially on those practicum ones. We have compassion as well, and we get that as well. And if you say in your self-evaluation, this is the first time I've ever done this, I was really nervous, I thought I talked too much, I thought I wasn't authoritative enough. If you say that sort of thing, and then in the subsequent practicums we see those things improve, we're going to get that. We're going to see that you learned, you grew, you got better at these things, and you started hitting all of these marks. The applications are evaluated by a team of certified coaches who excel at coaching coaches. I personally picked and trained these folks, and they are so good at what they do. They're incredibly thorough. They have a very rigorous process. They spend a lot of time on the application reviews, and that's one of the reasons why we had to institute the fee for the second revise and resubmit, because we were spending so long on people's application reviews and they were sending them in again and again and again. They were submitting material that wasn't ready, and this requirement now makes sure that you will be ready for the material to be read by the team. They generally get through applications in about 6 weeks. That's because when you submit your materials, you go to the back of a queue and they're working through the other ones and doing this careful evaluation of the applications. So it generally takes about 6 weeks to hear back from us. If you need a revise and resubmit, that is part of the course fee, the first request to do something different. And we might request any number of things depending on what we're seeing. Again, back to the criteria that we're using to evaluate, if we don't see a sense of authority for next steps for that writer, and what are you going to ask them to do, and what is the priority that needs to happen in this document or in this project, we want to see that. And if we don't see that, we're going to ask for you to redo that letter, that call, that written work, whatever it might be. It could be anything from one small piece of the application to many pieces of the practicum to entire practicums. So you get one chance to revise and resubmit as part of your course fee. If you need another revise and resubmit, the fee for the review of the application is $500. In terms of how many people pass the first time, this is the current percentage that we are seeing. It's about 25% that don't pass the first time. I think that this percentage is going to get much smaller now that we have instituted this policy of only one revise and resubmit. It's not that people weren't capable of doing this work or of meeting the high standards that we set. I think it's that people began to understand that we were giving really excellent feedback on the revise and resubmits, and so they were kind of just turning in work to sort of see, and then they'd go back and do it again to sort of see, and we were having to spend an enormous amount of time reviewing videos and written work, and it was just too much. So I think this percentage is going to shrink with the institution of this new policy. But regardless, this is a testimony to how high our standards are and to what we expect to see in your certification application. we're quite serious about this, and we want you to be as well. So that is just something to think about, to make sure you're ready and ready to go as soon as you sign up, so you can get that work done within the 9-month window. Once you earn certification, we will be happy, and we will help you celebrate and send you a special package in the actual mail. And that's a really fun day for sure. The fourth step is, once you achieve certification, to pay the licensing fee and join our certified community. The minimum that you have to pay to remain licensed and certified is $15 a month. That's $180 a year. We set that fee at a low price so that it's accessible to a lot of people, and that is easy to, if you're doing any sort of coaching at all, to make that money. And it comes with a great number of benefits of being in our certified coach community. You also have the option to upgrade to tier 2, which is not in addition to the $15 a month. It is instead of. So it's $50 a month for tier 2. You don't pay the $15 if you're doing tier 2. And tier 2 comes with just a deeper level of support and accountability and interaction with our team and me, if that's something that you want. You can move up and down from tier 1 to tier 2 when it suits you, and people do. So those options are available to you. And that is how you get through our certification process and get into our certified coach community, where all kinds of awesome things are happening, and we look forward to having you there.